How's it going, everyone? Rachel West here, along with Rick Stroud and Joey Knight. We're at Raymond James, where the Bucs just defeated the Bears. Joey, the big story of the night, Tom Brady, 600 touchdown passes. He did get the ball back, so crisis averted there. Mike Evans might want to thank that fan.
Yeah, Mike Evans didn't realize he had caught Tom Brady's 600th career touchdown pass, and he handed it off to a fan, a young man from St. Petersburg, a doctor named Byron Kennedy, graduated from St. Pete High. And once everybody realized, this guy is holding a priceless memento, the Bucs staffer scurried over there and kind of negotiated with the young man on the spot, and he very graciously gave the ball back. And, since that happened, you've seen a lot of bravado on Twitter like, oh, what a fool to give that ball back. Does he not realize, how much it's worth? I would have never given that ball back. Yes, you would have. This was not a negotiated, researched negotiation. This was something spontaneous on the spot with national cameras gazing at you. And the kid did what he thought was the right thing. He gave the ball back, and the Bucs are going to reward him. Probably a couple of Brady jerseys, some other swag, so it worked out well for everyone.
Right, and he said they had to ask him a couple times before he actually pulled the trigger and gave it away. So,
yeah.
it did take a little convincing.
It did. He gave it a second thought, but he did it.
But Rick, more game focused now. The defense, a big part of the game, big story. Just how good have they been? And not only how good have they been, but just everyone stepping up, that whole next man mentality that they have.
Yeah, I think this is the first game that really the defense ignited, their offense. They gave them short fields all night. You saw that a little bit on special teams with Jalen Darden's 43-yard return. But it was the 5 turnovers, right? Jason Pierre-Paul, who somehow continues to play despite being hurt, had a sack and had 2 sacks and a strip fumble. Shaq Barrett, got the ball loose as well and had a sack. And they had 3 interceptions from guys that, didn't start the season here. Pierre Desir and D. Delaney and guys like this coming up with picks along with Jordan Whitehead. So really, for the first game, I think the defense set the tone. The offense finished most of those drives, and they built just an insurmountable lead.
Right. They forced more turnovers than points they gave up. So
right.
That's pretty good. Good night in the office there. And Joey, Rick mentioned it a little bit, JPP. Just what has he meant to this team in playing through these injuries and still coming out and giving performance like he did here tonight?
Well, he's an inspiration. He revealed to us after the game that he's been playing with a couple of fractured fingers and a torn rotator cuff. And when you're an edge rusher, having to use your shoulders quite a bit, that just seems incredible. But, it's like Bruce Arians said, the guy's a warrior. And, the other guys feed off of him. He loves to play the game. And lately, just, he's not getting any younger, JPP, certainly. And, it's just a matter of getting him to Sunday. That's what Coach Arians said. We just got to get this guy to Sundays and let him flourish. So he hasn't been practicing a lot, if at all, lately. But, when the lights come on and he comes out here to Raymond James Stadium or wherever they're at, you see what happens. He performs, he produces, and he fires up everybody around him. He is a warrior.
Chris Godwin put it simply, he's a different breed.
Yes.
And that's the truth. So, Rick, this team is now 6-1, their best start in franchise history through 7 games. What is the ceiling for them this year?
Well, they hope it's the Super Bowl that they're in LA playing in SoFi Stadium, and really they've managed to win these games, some of them handily against teams that they should beat, and they've done it with a ton of injuries on defense that we've already documented. In this game they didn't have Antonio Brown, which was a big loss for their offense. They haven't had Rob Gronkowski. They're hoping to get some of these guys back, and next week would be a good time because they go to New Orleans Halloween night in the Dome. And, for as much as they've accomplished as Super Bowl champions, the one thing they haven't done, they've lost to the Saints in the regular season 5 straight times, and they have not won this division in 4 years, or it's been 4 straight years, I should say. It's been longer than that for the Bucs, that the Saints have won the division. So Jameis Winston against them next Sunday, that's going to be a scene down there in Louisiana, you bet.
Oh, yeah, big game Halloween night for sure. So everyone, make sure you're keeping up with all of our coverage leading up to it over on social media at Sports by Tampa Bay Times, as well as tampabay.com.